to work. So, continuing work on the cat turret toy thingy. Still quite a bit to do. So, I wanted to start with a couple of simple things. I wanted to just bring in the on-off switch, which I realized I'm kind of one. I think I'm going to just put that in the base. Let's get to it. So actually, let's leave that on for a second. I'm going to access, currently have the servos on. YZ, parallel to the YZ. Cool, cool, cool. So I'm thinking I'm going to put that switch right over here. I'm just going to leave it sliced, I guess, for now. And then I'm going to need a recess. Just to make this whole thing thinner. How big is that switch? Let's see. Oh, it's in English. Or whatever. Much better. Alright, so it is 17 1/4 millimeters by 12. Okay. 12 by 17 change. So I'm going to oversize this, actually make this relatively close in size and then just chamfer it. There's a cat. Alright. I realize I need the dimension on the lip. .8 by a little under 15. Okay. Okay. So then this should be 25 by 20. And then I'm going to have it just laid on the center line, or symmetric about the center. Let's go ahead and grab its center line. Make it voidable. Yeah, about 35 millimeters over seems good. As good a random number as any. Alright, just extrude this through. I'll just set an offset to this back surface. Let's see, how thick am I going to want? That's the cat again. How thick am I going to want the wall? So about 10 millimeters seems reasonable. How thick is it currently? Oh, I guess I finished that feature. Fine, I didn't want that feature anyway. Okay, so it's 10 it is currently 10 millimeters. Okay, well I can have it stick in on the inside a little bit, so I'll make this about 5 millimeter offset. Because I want to make sure that the button is recessed into that face, since that face would be on the ground. Why am I not happy about that? Oh, what? What's your problem, Fusion? Alright, let's do this distance then. 5 millimeters it is. What is? It does not seem to want to do what I'm telling it to do. actually, I just realized why it's mad at me. I should be working inside of the, let's see, the base. Ah, whoops. Alright, try that again. 25 by 20. I'll make it a little back. Yeah, that's fine. Debating making it a little oversized, but yeah. I don't think I need to. Alright, so redraw my construction lines that I had before. And then 35 millimeters offset. Stick with that. Sounds good to me. And make this symmetric about that center. Cool. Alright, I wonder if this time I'll be happier about my object and offset. So I had it at -5. There we go. I think that, yeah, that worked. Oh, you know, I'll just go back into this sketch and add the through hole as well. What was the diameter, or the dimension on the through hole? I don't know who I'm asking. There's somebody in here. Howdy. 17¼ by 12. Alright. Oops, that's the cat. 17¼ and 12. So do something like 17.75. I don't know. So that sounds reasonable enough. So it's a 0.5 millimeter clearance. Yeah, that should be fine. But it also has the little tabs on it. Let's do 18. I don't have enough room for the tabs. I'm probably going to glue it in place anyway. Okay, and then what was the other dimension? 12? 12. So then this side, let's do 12.5. That one shouldn't need as much extra space. And then let's do it symmetric about both center lines. Oh yeah. And this one just go all the way through. Object. Yeah, that looks alright. Bring in that part and take a look at it. The hell? Oh, right. Let's forget whenever I have cross-section turned on. Alright, so I'm trying to set up a more accurate joint later, but for now I just want to sanity check it. Oh, and of course, I keep forgetting that Fusion now automatically defaults to, when I bring things in, it makes them grounded to the parent. I don't know why. I don't know if that's something I changed or if some Fusion changed. There we go. Now that should work. Try that again. Ooh. My Space Mouse isn't working. Well, that is a little close, but I think it's fine. It does stick down a little bit, and if I'm going to put this on a hardened surface, most of the time I'll probably have it on carpet, because I have carpet. Let's go ahead and recess that a little bit further. So instead of a 5mm offset, we'll do 3. That's plenty of wall still to make it sturdy. And that should, yeah, now we're not sitting proud. Sweet. plenty of room in there for cable routing? Sure does. Alright. I'm gonna unplug and replug this Space Mouse. It's gonna drive me nuts now, isn't it? I've been spoiled. I think I just turned off something else. Oops. Too many things plugged in. That was it. Did it work? Nope, still didn't work. Okay. Oh, alright. Space mouseless tonight. Okay, so we have the power switch in. What's next? So I did make up a little PCB for this project. So let's go ahead and just test fit that in there and make sure that I have room on the inside. I'm not going to try and actually put in the supports for it and stuff yet, but I would like to make sure at least that the sizing of everything is going to work. So, how are we looking? Yeah, I think there's plenty of room. Practically spacious. Lovely. So yeah, I'll probably have this mounted somewhere over on this side. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And actually I'm showing this big Darlington transistor, but I think I'm actually going to switch that out for just a smaller NPN, so there'll be even more room. Plus that guy could be bent over. Alright, cool. So I don't think I need to make any changes there. At least in terms of the total internal volume. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of that for now. And I think what I'd like to do next is go ahead and work on putting in the pressure plate. I put this hole in there the other night in the intention of putting the pressure plate switch there, but I think what I'm going to do is actually just remove a section of wall where the pressure plate's going to be, and then I might have that pressure plate also basically act as sort of the access hatch to the inside. That way, you know, I can be able to access the Arduino and whatever else. So, a big question though is, do I still want to do it on this wall, or do I want to leave this wall in place so that it can serve as the mounts? I think I want to have that as the mounts there. So I'll have the pressure plate actually be on this side. So this hole can go away entirely. I'm going to do that. I really wish I could figure out how to get the Space Mouse to work. I keep fiddling with its knob. I'll click that. Okay. So I'm just cut out. I'm just gonna really slice out a section over here. Instead of a tangent plane on this wall. Is that orientation look good? It does actually. Okay. Oh, oops, hold on. I want to do this inside of the turret body. There we go. Let's redo that. Should just go ahead and delete that tangent. Okay. Inside the turret body. Now a tangent plane. Huh. Oh, I see. To a basic point. Yeah, just a tangent plane. Okay, I'll just sketch on here. And then I think I'll just slice out not quite an arbitrary section, but border not. No Fusion. Stop trying to snap to everything. Actually, I'll just do the one and then mirror it. And there's so many things underneath that it just snaps no matter where I point. The hell? There we go. Okay. Another arc up here. Actually, maybe I'll make it. Doesn't matter if I make it flat because it won't be flat. So might as well make it an arc, I guess. Project onto that surface, I suppose. Like I said that, and then I put that line or that point directly at adjacent. Oops. Whoa. Unintended movements. Alright, that makes me. Reminds me. Let's draw a center line. There we go. Now, I want these. Whoa. I want these to lay on that center. Cool, cool, cool. Actually, I'm gonna put the center line on it too. At a center point. Can you get away? Good try. Okay. Oh man, I really don't want it to snap to all this crap. I guess I can just do it that way. How large do I want this opening? And how do I want to measure it? I think I'm just going to do it as a... You'll just measure where this corner is relative to that center line. Try and make sure it's a reasonable width. I don't really need a ton of space. It just needs to be a little... You know, ultimately I want a plate that the cat can smack and it turns the thing off whenever the game is over, basically. So... I think if it were in total 75 millimeters, 3 inches, like that would be plenty. So I'll do this. I'll sit on top of it. I'm gonna do this at 50. And then my thought is the hatch or the door. Oh, but if I want to be able, yeah, that's okay. It'll be 100 millimeters. You can reach in with tools and get stuff in there. Yeah. I don't think I completed a thought there, but it's fine. What is it stuck to? Now let's just like delete constraints until I find the one that Fusion has helped me by creating. Okay, found it. Of course. If anybody well, a couple people in here, if anybody happens to know how to, like a hotkey to not snap to geometries, you'd be my favorite person. Oh, you jerks. Yeah. There are a lot of things I really love about Fusion. Man, there are a lot of things that can just be straight up obnoxious. Let's go ahead and just hide everything back there and see if maybe that helps. It should. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely better. I don't want that to be a construction line. Okay. Let's go ahead and make these concentric. Okay, this now I want to land on the center line. Also, why is that center line not constrained? There we go. Just needed to know I wanted it vertical. Okay. So, for the upper, so I guess for the upper section, the width really is the only thing that's important about it is making sure that there's room for whatever my hinge is going to be. Which the easiest would be a dowel. Downside to that though is that means I'd have to have something kind of sticking up proud from the surface or making a pain in the ass to assemble, neither of which sounds super fun, so I'm going to have to think about that a little bit. But for now, let's say 15. Is that too small? Yeah, that looks alright. And then those are concentric, so I should be able to just do that, and I can. That's 75. Sure. So the other thing I'm going to need to calculate here soon is I need to make sure that the laser is going to be able to hit this spot. I was looking at this a little bit earlier and realized I may have made that a bit tough on myself, so we'll have to see. Alright, so just go ahead and mirror these guys. Oops, thought I clicked it. Oh. There we go. I think it's still kind of just floating, huh? Yeah. Oh, I know what I'll do is I'll just set the center line at the midpoint along here on the origin. Or on, I guess, the projected origin. Yeah. Love it. Alright, what's not constrained? What moves? Oh, there we go. Oh, it's the radius. Okay. Actually, well, if I project this in, it's not a circle. Well, it is, but not on this plane. So if I set those concentric, what will it do? Find out. Fail to solve. That makes sense. Okay. Asked and answered. Alright. Try that a different way. Oh. Never mind, we're going to try it a similar way. Let's get the intersection point between these. And now I should be able to reference it. I can reference it, but I can't do shit with it. Alright. Do you want me to just set those as a radius? What do you want, Fusion? Why don't you just tell me? Perfect. Alright. So let's go ahead and slice that all the way through. That wall is thick. Definitely does not need to be that thick. I might need to work on that still. Alright. So now we have the hatch and the limit switch. Check that somewhere. I'm just going to place this in space to get myself an idea. I'm going to have that wall at 50, maybe at 55. I'll have to check that before I actually place this, but for now. So I've got to sit somewhere like that. And then the door will sit in this opening. Yeah. And then pressure on the door flips the switch. Alright. And somewhere. I wonder actually if it'd be easier if I put the hinge at the bottom. If you have more room. Actually, then I could. I have an idea. I have an idea. Yeah, I think I know what I want to do. rock on those spheres. Nope. Okay. So go back and go into a new sketch. And then yeah, what I'm thinking is I'll do a V groove that runs along here. Hold on, let's go ahead and grab this edge and this edge. Place a construction sphere just as a reference to work off of for now. Get that out of the way. Make it a standard 9.5. It's going to throw me off having this thing and this rest of the curve in the back. But alright, so what I want is basically this to go up. Oh, hold on, let me add this surface also, because I'm going to basically continue that wall up. Let's make that construction also. Sweet. I don't know if I want that perpendicular to whatever that surface is. I have to think about that for a minute. Oh, it didn't make a line here, that's why. Okay, well, we can do that. Alright, now, U parallel to U. Perfect. And then I'm going to put the V groove into this. Let's toss it in for now and then play with the actual geometry here shortly. Perfect-ish. Perfect adjacent. Okay, I want these. I'm going to do it as a 90-degree V and symmetric one. Draw this. Do I want it on the center of this? Not necessarily, but I do want it orthogonal to it. And then these guys symmetric about that. Cool. And then make our reference circle tangent. Perfect. Okay. I think this will work. I have hope. Okay, let's set this lip about a millimeter below the center line of the ball. Maybe one and a half. And then these landings don't need to be very big. Just do like a millimeter, just enough meat to support itself. I'm thinking, so it's going to be a ball on either side to make the hinge, and then I'm thinking a magnet in the middle to hold the thing in place, and then I can or whenever I want to open it up and get inside, I can basically just pop the thing off the front, in theory. Okay. This one does need a little bit of room, just so that the hinge doesn't run into anything. So I'll do like 5 millimeters. That wasn't really what I had in mind. That's what I get for that. There we go. I also want this to be parallel to that. I guess it already is. And then let's go ahead and round this bottom. I accidentally made a construction line, did I? Whoops. And fixed. Okay, so then what sort of thickness of material from the arc or from the tangent there? I'm thinking it doesn't really need much, but I think 2.5 millimeters or so would be plenty. What is under constrained? What are you upset about? Ah. Oh, I see. I forgot to make, I want this wall and this one on the same level. There we go. Alright, now I should be able to revolve that around the same axis as everything else. There we go. And then do it symmetric, but actually partial. Why it defaults so often to partial and 360. That kind of defeat the purpose of partial. Okay. Let's do this. Yeah. Let's join. Okay. Missing a little bit of something here. Not the right axis, is it? Yeah, because the cone is slightly different. I can just fill it in, so I'll just make that thing extended to the bottom, because I don't actually need this to be on the same axis as that. I just need 2 points that the balls can rock in to get me my hinge. I'm sure I want the hinge on the bottom. Now I'm second guessing it, because I'm thinking, well, cats tall enough that they wouldn't hit down low, right? I don't know. Let's see how it comes out. Future me's problem, I guess, for now. Okay. That is okay. Now I just want to extend. Oh, hold on. This is also. Oh, okay. It looks good on this side, actually. So if I just extend the bottom of it, it should be fine. Cool. That's not too bad. Even I can do that. And over here. Parallel. They don't really need to be, but why not? And hell, it was only like a couple of millimeters, only 5, and it's plenty. There's nothing for it to interfere with, so. Okay. So include that guy. Alright. I do feel like I'd rather have the whole thing sit a little lower, since it sort of raises up in the corners. So let's go ahead and edit this again. That 5 millimeters I gave myself on the bottom, I think it's overkill. I'll cut it in half. How does that look? That looks much better. Alright. Spheres right now. I can toss those in easily enough. Okay. In the middle, I do want to add location for the magnet. And yeah, so I'm thinking I'll just add a pocket here and then a matched one on the door. This doesn't need to move far either. It just needs to be enough to trip that limit switch. So it's about 5-6 millimeters with that big lever arm. That'll be easy, he said, knowing he's probably screwing himself for later. Okay, let's go ahead and add that. So let's get that construction plane back up. And then I don't really want. Yeah, go ahead and do it on here and then just make it work. I was thinking I'd rather have it sort of this plane be on this surface, but that's okay. Okay, and for magnets, I've got a bunch of the like 6 millimeter diameter disc magnets. Let's use one of those. That's about 6 millimeters, right? So 6.3 usually works pretty well for those magnets. They tend to be a smidge undersized. My current print settings, holes come out significantly undersized. Gotta work on that one of these days soon. Okay. Yeah, roughly, I don't really need it to be actually centered. I do want it, let's see, actually actually I do care because I want it to be above. Think about this. If the balls are here and here, then I do want this to sit above the center line of those balls so that it's not. Oh, actually, never mind. I want it below, and then it'll counteract the weight. Because one of the things I was worried about is the weight of the door tripping the limit switch even when there's no pressure on it. And actually, this can help alleviate that. This will provide a little bit of a balancing force and take some of the weight off of the limit switch. Oh, I love it when an accident works out. Okay. I love that it's just like, oh, random numbers. I realize there are better ways to do that, but it's good enough. Alright. So now I can just extrude this down into here. So, how do we break through? We break through at 23. Let's go at 22. Into that. Does McMaster have disc magnets? Let's see. Of course they do. Disc magnetic discs. Feels a smidge redundant. Alright, what do we got? Oh, with threads. Oh, a little fancy there, McMaster. Is it because you wrote disc toys? Sure. Oh, these are only English. Alright, what's 6 millimeters? That's about a 1/4 inch, right? No. Yeah. I think that's right. Oh, this isn't thickness. Once I were 2 millimeters thick, 2 millimeters, a little better than 10th, or a little under 1/10 of an inch. Call it that. Super worried about this fitting well since I've used those 6 millimeter magnets in plenty of stuff, so I know that that 6.3 hole will work. Oh, I don't need to move this around. Oops. Just put it in with a joint. Lovely. That looks lovely. Okay. Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's coming together a little bit. At least in theory. Works until it doesn't. Except I don't really want a full bow. Actually, I think I've just got some steel spheres in my little saved in my COTS folder. Yeah. And again, I'm just going to kind of loosely place this one for now. Because I'm actually going to locate it with the door. But just want to kind of get in position so I can visualize everything, make sure that I'm not missing anything too glaring before I dive into modeling up a door. I'll just mirror that one. I think the music died. The day the music died. Hopefully Epidemic Sound doesn't give me copyright trouble again. Last live stream, apparently they weren't happy about it. Alright. Main thing, I'm not super sure about the height on this side not getting in the way. One thing I can do. I'm gonna go ahead and open that up. Like that. Actually, I think I'm gonna do the opposite on this side. That way the door kind of fits inside. Alright, let's go ahead and take a stab at drawing a door. I'm going to do it a similar way to the other one. So, let's see. Let's go ahead and grab some reference surfaces, huh? What all do I want? What all? It's like shopping for surfaces. Those all look lovely. I'll take them all. Okay. Construction lines off. I don't want this door to be overly heavy because that also will cause problems. So I just keep that in mind. Kind of match this outer geometry nominally. So yeah, the thought is, if it's rotating, I just pointed at the screen as if that's helpful. If it's rotating on the hinge here, it's going to kick this up, out of the way, that down in. So yeah, I think that's working. And then, I was going to say it could be printed on the surface. I keep forgetting everything on here is rounded. So, a lot of these might be resin printed parts. Although, I don't know, I'll see if that is with cat treats and stuff involved, but cross that bridge when I get there, I guess. So this is basically setting the gap that will be between the bearing surfaces and the hinge. I set the other one 1.5 millimeters from the center of the ball to the flat. So let's do 3 total, so basically 1.5 on each side, which works pretty well. These size balls. Okay. That's the surface that I want. Because I'm going to go ahead and have this be parallel to that. Forgot it doesn't add that line if I don't do that other type of projection thing I think you have to use for that. That'll work. No, it won't. Never mind. Thought it would. Okay, well, I know that I want this point to land on that line. You gonna yell at me about that also, Fusion? Okay, and then I'll round this just to make sure that on opening there's no worry about collision, but otherwise there really shouldn't be, because everything should be on, yeah, everything should be clear, but with a 2 millimeter gap, it sounds reasonable enough. And then I want this, yeah, I want to have this parallel to that. So I am going to still need this space. I can grab that one while I'm here. And as already discovered last time, I need to draw my own line. And there we go. Okay, so then on this side. Now this I do have to worry about the collision, because as it comes in, that corner would want to hit. So I'm going to have to leave a decent gap there, or get smarter with that design. Actually put some dot in, or we want to put that. This one can be similar to before, and in reality I think the idea would be that that magnet will pull it so that this will sort of be in contact. So I really don't want too much of a gap on this one. Let's say that was like 1. Make sure that this is parallel to the line that's not there. Now make this parallel to the line that's totally there. I don't really care what angle this is at. I just added this so that there's some material thickness there. It could just be normal to that. I don't really care. I'm not going to be looking at this from the inside all that often. How wide is this? And that's plenty. Honestly, that's more than enough. It's like 12.5. I don't know. Who doesn't like round numbers? Make that little lip 2 millimeters. And how do I want to scale this? What do I care about with this? This is really just there to give some material thickness to sort of stiffen this, since this is going to be sort of a mechanical element. So how about I'll just set sort of the root thickness. Honestly, something like 7.5 is plenty. And the angle's not set. Oh, why is it still blue? What are you still able to do? Oh, didn't see that coming. Okay, I'll just set this normal for that guy. Okay. Is that everything? It is not. This one is still upset about something. What do you want? I thought that was parallel already. Oh, guess not. There's not even a line there. Okay. Now we're fully defined. Okay, so we can just do a little knob on it. Yeah. The Space Mouse working, I feel like I'm all over the place. Not that I'm not always all over the place. Okay. Partial significantly less than that. What does 30 look like? Ah man, I really want this to be. Can I do the cone as this as the axis? Whoa. Yeah, I can, but it's not right. Okay. Oh, I know. It's because I. Oops. Okay, this is because I did the hole in a dumb way. Oh no. Oh no. I think I'm gonna have to go back and redo the opening. This is because I just did that projected cut. I knew that was gonna bite me. It's not very satisfying to do, and I told you so to yourself. Man, redoing that, I'll have to redo kinds of stuff, but it is the right thing to do because that would also fix this to where it didn't line up right. I didn't realize at the time that's why that wasn't lining up. Alright, go all the way back to this. And I think I actually just have to bite the bullet. Oh man, that's not great. Okay. So, starting this whole feature all over again. Things are only fun if you do them twice. Of course, that is the downside of just sort of running and gunning in CAD. So, I guess the good news is this time I can actually sort of put in the features I just put in more on purpose. Should I have this go straight across? Tempted to. I don't like having a sharp edge, especially on something that's going to have like collisions. So I'll go ahead and just do it like that. If I come over and make a normal. It's a normal corner. And then come on down. And the nice thing is that now I can also integrate the V-groove fully into it without having to do that as a separate drawing. If I had thought about it the first time, this would have been a whole nice thing all around, but nope. Alright. I can't even see the line. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. So, I'm gonna make our V-groove again. I don't think, do I want that vertical? I don't think I do, because I don't think this wall is 45. So I'm just going to rough these out, and then I'll constrain them. Now this goes not straight out. I actually want this to go... Let's also not have that be horizontal, just in case. Now, where was the end of this line? Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and put in a reference sphere. 9.5 diameter. Why did it change the zoom for that? Okay. I do want it to be a 95 corner. And then I also would like to have... I think I want to have the orientation of the V be normal to this inner wall. So, make these symmetric. Oh, whoops. Make these symmetric about this. Yeah, that looks good. And go ahead and make them equal. Why not? Alright. Tangent. Tangent. And we'll do the same 1.5 millimeters from the center of the sphere to the land next to it. So it'll be a 3 millimeter gap between the two surfaces. And let's have these be parallel and on a plane together. Oh, okay. Guess they already were. Oh, right, because I have those equal. That makes sense. Okay, Fusion. Okay, you got me. You got me. You're right. Do that one at 1.5. 2mm fillet. Sounds good. Let's set the thickness. It's like deja vu. I almost feel like I've done this tonight. 2.5 on that thickness should be plenty. Okay. How far? Actually, set the distance of this relative to the main bearing. I just realized I don't have a fillet on. I probably should. Oh well. Okay. Let's grab those surfaces so I can measure to them. Just grab that corner. There we go. That's good enough. About a half an inch above. That sounds good. What angle do I want this sitting at? Does it matter? Does it really matter? Let's go ahead and just have it flat to the ground. But I'll also make it flat to the build plate based on how I'm sort of planning to build the thing. And let's make this 10. Give a little bit more room here for the magnet and stuff in the middle. Okay. So yeah, the more room there is on this side of the ball, and this also means the more room for the magnet to have a bit of a moment to help hold things in place, which I think will be good. Let's have these parallel to this. Oh, are they already? I guess so. Okay. What can move? Oh, the whole damn thing. What? You told me you couldn't do that, Fusion. You said it would be over-constrained. There we go. Okay, so all that's defined. So how tall do we want the door? Set it from there. The total outer dimension of the door. Please hold while I play with calipers to get a sense of how tall I want the thing to be. I'll go with 90. I want the majority of this surface to be on that angle, because that's actually where I'm going to have the contact. So this really only needs to be like 2mm. It's just enough to avoid damaging a sharp point. 2mm should be plenty, I think. Alright, so I think that's fully constrained. So let's go ahead and, yeah, now I can remove this. Not the whole thing, but thank you. Yeah, that looks much better. Okay, I'm glad I redid it. Kind of want to make it taller. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, looks nice. I can just delete everything after it, I guess. Was it? Or not. I guess I don't remember how to delete everything after. So never mind. Everything there just lives forever. So I'm too lazy to click on each of them. Ain't nobody got time for that. Alright, so now I need to put the magnet pocket. But I'm thinking maybe I go ahead and put the door in and then add the magnets. Make sure that there's room or some material behind it rather. So what does that do for depth? About 5mm. So I could put 2, maybe 3 magnets deep in there. Which I do want a fair bit of pull force. So magnets I have are 6x2, or I think I have some that are 6x3. So, okay. Alright. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add the door. I'm just going to add all the damn surfaces. That won't get cluttered at all. think is going to change about the plan for the door. Last time actually, I think I just had this go straight up. I think I'll do that again. Okay. And just a little bit of thickening. Cool. Forgot, even though I have those surfaces, I don't have lines on those surfaces because it didn't project the cut. So. Just connect the dots. Just on the ones that I know that I want to reference. That's good enough for right now. Alright, this one I had 2 millimeters last time. Although I think that's excessive given that I know that this is going to be lifting up out of the way. So I'm just going to round that corner, and that's plenty. And then this is the spacing for the balls, which is 3. Let's go ahead and add this here so I don't forget. 5 sounds good. I'll put a construction in. Cool. And then I want this one to be parallel to the inner wall. This one I want to be small because again that's where my actual collision will be to hold the thing together. But this is going to fold in, so this is a problem. I don't have a location for the pivot where I can easily. I could just measure the radius on it and then know how much it's going to tilt in. I can't quite measure that easily, especially without having the balls placed yet. So we'll just go with 2.5. Make for a big old gap, which isn't great, but it's okay. Okay, set this parallel to this outer, which doesn't have a line on it, so I need to do that. Now I can set them parallel. Actually, I want them collinear. Nice. Okay, and this one, that's already parallel to that, right? Well, let's do this. Last time I did it off of this face, I'll do the same. 12.5, I think it's plenty. This thing's going to need to be a little printed very light infill. It's unnecessarily thick. It's kind of the same way everywhere. Need to work on that probably. Maybe I'll shell it or something. I don't know. Take a look at that at some point. Okay, let's make this just like a couple millimeters. Do 2.5. Again, that's just sort of a reinforcing thing, so it doesn't matter a whole lot. Don't see anything that drives that dimension, so sounds good to me. And then for the placement of the balls, I'm just going to do conical pockets inside of this wall. So we'll come back to that in a minute. Oh, I see, because it's filling it. So which if I taper expensive. Kind of need a cross section through this to help visualize it. Maybe we can do that real quick. Yeah, that helps. I kind of like the idea of this sitting similar with how it is on the top. It basically nests into it. I think that'd be nice. And then it's not, it basically, it'll change how it is in terms of being flush on the front, but it won't have a big gap. It doesn't have to have a gap on the sides, which I think will be nicer than having it all flush anyway. Okay. So let's move that ahead one, and then go back to this. And then I'm going to increase that angle closer to there. Okay, now some nice big chamfers on here. Oh, we didn't get the chamfer tool. Let's try that again. Oh man, why is it not? Why is it not lining up? My brain is not doing geometries. Do I need it to be an yeah, do I need it to be asymmetric? Why would I need it to be asymmetric? Shouldn't it be the same? For some reason I'm not picturing this right. Hey, what up, Joseph? What? You put a nitric acid. What? I don't know why they have the reaction thing placed over the chat window in my viewer, and I don't know how to move it, and it covers up the last word of whatever the most recent comment is. Oh, in your literature. Holy crap, that doesn't sound good. Didn't catch her skin though, right? I'm hoping. Jesus, that's crazy. Just a random drop of nitric acid. I don't know. You say human skin is very acid resistant, but I don't. You're a braver man than I, and sulfuric definitely scares the hell out of me, but it's from clean room work. Or no, sorry, that's HF for the most part. I don't think I've ever had the acid's not that bad. I mean, you can touch them like as long as it's followed very quickly by a rinse, and it's fine, sort of thing. I assume you'd still get like a slight burn, right? This is kind of like, wouldn't this be sort of like saying that human skin is very resistant to heat? It's like, yeah, sure, but short time periods. Oh, nitric turns you yellow. Interesting. So I could play some like cool jaundice pranks. Is that the one that turns you yellow? Oh, I see why these chambers aren't lining up. Alright, so walking around with yellow hands is a good way to get some TSA attention. Okay, good to know. I did not know that. I need that, like, the more you know chant thing. Danger, are you saying that you can make yellow hands or you could make my cat turret thingy? If you can make my cat turret thingy, I'll let you. Is it paining you to watch me struggle through through Fusion at the moment? Oh, I see what's going on here. Sure, you want me to send it to you? I will warn you the sketch is somewhat incomplete, but I'm happy to send you what I got. I'd love to see what you could come up with as an alternative, because I've definitely been struggling. Oh, good. Glad to hear it. Thanks, Joseph. I think it's still set where you helped me get it the other day. Yeah, so the reason I'm not getting what I want is because it's pulling an unintended on that side. Those walls were thinner. In danger if I could post this, or I could share the sketch in I could do like a community post with the sketch, I guess. I don't know another way to send it to you. Can I add it? No, I can't add a file for the shot. Alright, well. Let's see, what are easy ways to accomplish what I want? Yeah, it'll be mostly 3D printed, Danger. And with the exception of the, the COTS parts, like the bearings and stuff. But yeah, all the parts that I'm modeling will be printed. Probably mostly out of resin. I'm thinking, mainly because let me unhide the rest. I can show you. So it's got a roller bearing up top. I haven't finished the top part yet. And then it's just got this printed in bearing down below. And so printing these in resin will just make it run smoother. Granted, I've printed plenty of these at FDM as well, but you can also, it tends to be louder when I print them in FDM because you've got the corrugation in it. And I figured it'd scare the cat. Figure out some sort of temporary solution to this thing on this door. Well, I can just go back to, I guess, for now, I'll just leave the gap. But Danger, if you have a way to help me through that, I would gladly accept it. Yeah, I went with the 9.5 millimeter bearing balls because, well, one, I just have tons of them. So I just buy slingshot ammo, 3/8 inch slingshot ammo, and use that as bearing balls because they are just bearing balls. The next size that I have in quantity are BBs, which I don't know why all of my bearing balls are some sort of ammunition, but yeah, it is what it is. But the problem with those is that, especially with FDM parts, that makes the bearing ball size too close to the corrugation size in the print, and they just start to get a little less predictable. At least in the past, that's what I've run into. Plus, I figured the extra weight from the 9.5s will help the thing stay stable. Yeah, exactly. I prefer to be able to reference my bearings by caliber. Music stopped. Oh, nice, Danger. You're a product design engineer, or product designer, or that's what I'm thinking of. Hey, good work. 177 and 22, huh? Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, I think that's actually in line with, because would 177 be 4.5 millimeters? And then his 22 caliber is at 5.2, 5 and change. So I think I have BBs of both of those sizes. Okay, yeah. The 22 caliber ones I have are white they're coated in a white plastic of some sort. Good night, Danger. If you send me some contact info or a way I could send you a drawing, I'd be happy to get your help on cleaning up some of the stuff in it. It'd be awesome. But yeah, have a great night. Oh, I don't know if the ones I have are glow in the dark. That's a good question. Well, now I feel like we're getting into an entirely different cat toy, glow in the dark BBs. That sounds kind of dangerous, I guess. Maybe that's not a good idea. Now that I say it out loud. Okay, where was I on this? This one is the pressure plate. I do have. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I can just. Yeah, actually, that's a very good point. I will add. Hold on, look at a piece of paper. I don't want to do it right now because I'll get sidetracked. But I will do that right after I finish streaming. That's a good point. Yeah, so Danger, I'll throw a link up. I don't know if you're still here, but I'll upload the image and throw a link in the community stuff. Whatever that's called. Yep, Joseph, you are correct. That's usually like the, and I should get better about doing it as more of a continuing thing. I actually do. I use Notion and throw a lot of that same stuff in Notion and then copy it over the blog. I need to find a way to be more efficient in that. Alright, note made. Awesome. Yeah, good call. Thanks. Alright. So tie that for now. Actually, maybe I want to do this the other way around. I want to hide two things. One, need some sort of a line to mark where the balls will be in the door. Then I'll just go straight into the door and modify it. Level when a plan comes together. He said, not yet sure if that plan is coming together. I'm just gonna do like basically just cut a little V group out of this. All things that could / should be done via geometry, and instead I'm just gonna do a bit crude. Alright, Joseph, take it easy. Have a good night. Enjoy the search for dopamine. If you find any extra. You have to. So that's what those are for? They're tracer units, really? Man, airsoft is way more intense than I realized, I guess. I'm not really that familiar with it, other than, you know, just vague or general references, but... So does it have like a UV light or something that you shine out and it makes them glow as tracers? That's awesome. Okay, I want to do a slice on the other way. Actually, you need to modify the revolve. I'll just use that to mark where I'm going to put the bearings. Oh, that's wild. Oh, I see. So it's not even... I was picturing it like attached to the barrel and shining forward, but I see. So it's like aiming into the cartridge or whatever, or in whatever right before the barrel. Preloader of some sort. That's pretty sick. Alright, so I'm going to do a plane at an angle over here. So the whole thing at 30, so 15, maybe 20 degrees over. What's that look? Oh, they're in the barrel. I see. Huh. That's pretty awesome, actually. So has airsoft like taken over, like instead of people playing paintball? Or is it entirely a different thrill, so to speak? Seems like it would hurt less. Not that that's the main objective. Always what I remember about paintball. Yeah, I don't feel like I think it's also some older than I was back when I heard about paintball, but yeah, I definitely don't feel like I hear about it anymore. Actually, let's do a reference line off in the center here. Set normal to this guy. Set the distance I want for this off of the face is 1.5. Now just click on. Center. Since I'm going to revolve both of these, I'm going to need a solid line through them. We only need each other, baby, you know we're the same. I don't really care how far this is up. I just wanted to extend it to make sure that with the curvature of the surface I don't lose anything. Sure, sounds good. Really throwing me off not having my mouse. This one I want to be full. Perfect. Actually though, bring that sketch back and go ahead and add in that ball. It's going to let me mirror that, the feature for the pocket. One way to find out. It did. Mirror the ball. Alright. Looks about right. So if we unhide the rest of that body, and then can't really see it. Oh, from that cross section, can I? Another one on the other axis. Is this song like some title screen for Mario? That's what it sounds like. So this should pivot on those two balls, and then we'll extrude our magnet pocket up into there, and then I'll give our preload. That should work. See anything I'm missing, anybody? Looking at you, Kavorka. Okay. Actually, I can just use pocket I already have. Just extrude that up into this one. I kind of want it a little bit deep on this side, so I do want to fit more than one magnet in there. So 16, 3. Yeah, that should be good. I think I can fit 3 magnets deep in that pocket. The downside is that if this rotates too far, it's gonna just fall apart. But oh, actually no, it won't, because the limit switch is gonna be here. That's gonna keep it from moving too far. That's right. Okay. What next? Let me grab. Yeah, that's right. I got rid of the magnets. I'm gonna re-find my magnets. DOSC magnet. These are about the 6mm ones. Then 2. Get this so I can find it. I'll just copy this one. I'm just going to place one on either side for now. It'll be good enough to remind me what goes there. And there's nothing else that's going to be in the way, so it's not like I need to make sure and address the space claim. Oh, I made it a body, not a component, so it won't let me do that. Let's try that again. There we go. So yeah, I think that'll fit 3, and then I'll put 2 here. That'll give a pretty good bit of pull force. Alright, so I think that handles the pressure plate, other than getting the limit switch located and all that fun stuff. Actually, I can do for the limit switch is actually just mount it on the wall right here, and then I don't have to add any other support structure for it. Grab that thing. Perfectly for now, just kind of in the ballpark, make sure that it's going to be reasonable. Yeah, I think that'll work well. I will have to extend the wall a little bit to give it mount points, but not much, and they'll be accessible. not like super convenient, but with the door off, won't be too bad. Okay, okay. So let's get that back out of there and go ahead and draw him out. Where did I put it? Oh, it's not open. Oh, by the way, Kavorka, I couldn't find an easily modified, aka a step file for the Cali Cat. I found this one, which I think could be also kind of fun. I was gonna use the head off of this. Glamour shot. Okay. So these are 2.5mm diameter. Yeah, I think I realized that I should be able to actually mount the head on the elevation axis, so I'll have it tip and tilt. Yeah, no problem, man, I figured. I also realized that there's the Cali Cat stuff, there's a fair bit of out there, but yeah, I still want to see some of those photos whenever you get a chance. Okay. Oh, no, don't need this right. Need this. So there are 2.5mm holes on 9.5mm centers. Oh, nice. You just built a new system? Is it for anything in particular, or just time for an upgrade? I'm gonna turn that slice off and turn this slice back on. For now, I'm just going to place the fastener holes in space. I need to look up the diameters for 2mm insets. Actually, for 2mm, I might just use self-tapping screws. Say 9.5mm offset. Ah, mining rigs and GPUs galore, huh? Well, I'm guessing GPUs. I'm guessing you weren't running ASICs if you're using them as PCs now. 15 PCs heating the home? God, that's serious. Hopefully you don't live anywhere where it gets too hot. Let's see, offset. Oh, okay, perfect place for it then. Smart. I worked at a place recently where I worked with a lot of people who did IC design and whatnot, so they were designing custom silicon for various things. And the thing I kept asking them was like, I want an oven heating element that is compute. I'm don't want to be pumping waste heat into my house. I might as well be mining with it or something. Some sort of distributed compute. You've taken that to a whole new level. Let's heat the whole house. Okay, so that thing's 4.6 millimeter diameter. So then altogether it'll be about 10 millimeters from the hole to that when compressed. Does it get pretty hot up there in the summer? Actually, I want to measure this from this face. Really? 40C is toasty. I'm surprised actually. I wouldn't have thought it gets that hot. 20 is perfect. I spent most of my career working in metrology, and the nice thing with metrology labs is they have to be 20 degrees C because that's what the standards require. I always very much liked that. 36C in the house. That is brutal. Do houses have air conditioning normally up there? I would guess not, because it's probably cold most of the year. But I don't know. It's a hope some of these parallel. You weren't kidding when you said you got all kinds of projects going. Keep them busy. Okay, so 10 millimeters when it's compressed. Makes you feel any better, neither do I. Well, clearly I'm not nearly as productive. I don't got nearly as much fun stuff going. I'm just here making cat turrets. 4.5. So go like 15 and be conservative. Oh, I already did that, didn't I? Yep. Further off than I would have guessed. Alright, I trust your cat, I reckon. So you just not mind the heat? Or, like, how do you deal with that? 36C indoors, I would not be able to even get comfortable. I'd be dying. So it's what, 36C is just shy of 90F, right? I think. Ballpark. Does that sound right? This will just be a little mounting flange. 5 cents one. So you got just one room is like 45C, and then the other room is 30 or something. 28 at 2 a.m. No, that's too much, man. That's too much. Oh man, I just couldn't. I wouldn't be able to sleep. I've been thinking about doing a project. I've got a whole bunch of Peltier cooler, or a bunch of Peltier devices, whatever, laying around. And I keep thinking about making like a cooler, something where I could just pump cold water around myself while I'm sitting on the couch. I don't like heat. Smart. Ate some caffeine, huh? Little improvised swamp chiller. Swamp cooler. Yeah, swamp coolers do a hell of a job if you're, as long as you don't live somewhere where it's too humid, I guess. I do want this center line to land on that center line. Perfect. And then I'm gonna be symmetric about that. I really want this thing to go a little further up, so I want to basically contact just shy of this. I could have it, yeah, I'll have it run shy of that. Nice! How are you setting up the automation for it? Got like a cool mist humidifier or something on a control system? The automated humidity system was one of the very first projects I worked on when, well, kind of it is a job, it's almost an internship, but it was for the university a long time ago. Ah, very cool. Some like industrial control shit. I've never used Onion Omega. How is that to work with? Nice. Should look into that. For one of the things I've wanted to set up is I'm renting a house currently, and I'm not good at remembering to water a lawn. So I have like timed sprinklers, but it annoys me because obviously if it rains, it's not appropriate. So I'd like to set up soil moisture sensors and all that fun stuff. And I've started on it a couple of times, but then I'm like, I don't feel like getting it all programmed, and it's not that fun. I've built those things in the past, and it's just not fun to build from scratch. This sounds like it might be maybe a better option. Should look into. Oh, that's awesome. Well, congrats. That's cool. It's cool that they're recognizing people in the community making stuff. That's pretty awesome, actually. Smart on their part, too. Alright, I'm gonna clean that up a little bit still, but gives me something I can mount that switch to for now and take a look and see if it looks right. offset, I guess I'm not thinking about there. Okay. That's not ideal. Okay, we'll move it down a little bit. $25 amps at 3 volts. Pushing some current through. Is that giving you any problems, or is that everything's sort of used to that? Oh, I see. It's 3 volts switching 25. The 25 amps is on the 120 volt circuit. Got it. Yeah, that's not too bad then. Yeah, if you have to get in and change, you know, scale anything up to higher line voltage or whatever, that's a pain in the ass. I got a mill a couple years ago and really wanted to run it on a larger circuit so I could push it harder, but I was too lazy, and so actually it's only 15 amp. What sort of lamps are, or what sort of lighting is this? Like high pressure sodium or something, or is it all LED now? That looks better. A little smaller on the bottom side and a little wider. Okay, I see. Nice. Just kind of testing it out, getting a feel for everything on it. Oh, or is that's the project that they gave you the award for? That they recognized you for? No. Now that I can totally relate to. I love that. Necessity is the mother of all invention, right? Well, maybe not all invention. See cat toy yet again. Okay. Let's make this more like 15. That should be good. That looks plenty supported to me. Okay. Nice beefy fillets. Tempted to mirror this onto the other side just in case. Plus it would give me the option of I could mount the limit switch on either end. I think I'm going to do that. Should have done that before I put the rounds on. Hide before. There we go. Yeah, the step of diving into starting to cut sheetrock. That's a big one. That's pretty cool though. So it's got like an LED or a LCD on it that you can sort of do whatever you want with it. Man, I'll take a look at this thing. So I was picturing like a PLC controller or something when you were first describing it. I'm getting the sense that maybe that's not the same. Googling. Oh, yeah, okay. So it's sort of like it's like a beefed up Arduino. No, it's a single board computer. Okay, so it is like almost like a BeagleBone Black. There's a GPS even on it. Whoa. Yeah. I'll be damned. Very cool. Oh yeah, and they got all sorts of stuff for a LiDAR kit and stuff. Okay, now I'm getting sidetracked. Leave that open for later. Easily distracted. Yeah, LiDAR is pretty cool. Although most of my work has been in more high precision type measurement stuff, and so I've always been a little like meh on LiDAR, but it is pretty cool. Just been curmudgeonly. It gets so much attention and money. But I would love to have one to play with. Okay. So let's see. I'm trying to go ahead and get the board mounted. Yeah, the hard part is, well, at least the hard part for me right now is I feel like I have so much shit that's just sitting unused that it's hard for me to justify to myself buying any more sensors. I even just got, I left my job recently, and as part of the company, well, I didn't leave the job, the company closed, but as part of them closing, we sort of got to go shopping a little bit. And I got a chromatic confocal sensor. I don't know if you've ever seen or used those, but I need to find something to use with that thing, because that's a lot of fun. It's a hell of a nice sensor. I love that thing. Where am I going to put the board? Over here. No. I need to leave this area open. Here, I'll send you, I'll post the link. They're one of my favorite sensors ever since I first started using them, but they're pricey. There you go. I think they're awesome. One of the nice things is that, and they're non-contact, but they'll also work on all sorts of weird materials. So, like, I first learned about them, or I first discovered them when I was trying to measure silicones. And silicones are kind of hard to measure dimensionally because they're squishy and they're also translucent. And these things, you could measure them to the micron all day, every day. Alright. Put the board on this side. But they're not nearly as, they don't have the range and all that of LiDAR, or the versatility. They're definitely much more niche. Actually, LiDAR would be a cool one to add to one of the things I've been just sort of tinkering on for quite a while, but I'd like to get back to it and actually finish it at some point, is a robot arm. I think it'd be pretty cool to have a LiDAR head on that. It's a center to center on my piece PCB. Oh, nice. You can handle all the kinematics and stuff for me. I would not be mad at that at all. Nice. Any idea how it stacks up against like a BeagleBone Black? I got a couple of those sitting unused that I keep thinking I should use for a project, but this Onion Omega might be better. Definitely seems like it's got a much better ecosystem, just based on the quick glance I just did. Yeah, that's fair. I feel like the BeagleBones also they never really took off. I always liked them compared to Raspberry Pis just because they had ADCs built in. Okay, 60.5 by 36.8. Why the hell did I put these things at such random intervals? 40 by 60.5. Although also sort of redesigning some of the aspects of this board, so hopefully I can fit everything in the same footprint. Oh, you've had that for that long. When you said that, I was thinking that you meant that you got it recently and all that. So that Kickstarter wasn't recent. I guess that makes sense because when I Googled it, it did not go to a Kickstarter. It went just to their site and they've got buy. And they've got a full shop. Gotcha. It was one of those things you mentioned having laying around that you've been trying to put to use, huh? Overly optimistic on fitting this guy easily in here, although I can clear space out. I can very much relate to that problem, if it makes you feel any better. I'm sure it won't, but I definitely can relate. Building a Facebook-like site, interesting. What language were you building in? I haven't done web development stuff in forever. Well, other than my own little stuff for this, but not very involved technically. I haven't written any back-end code really for it. Oh, I haven't even heard of that. Interesting. Huh. Is that like a content management system like Joomla or something, or is that something entirely different? Is it like Django? Yeah, I definitely feel your pain. X equal. Okay, so yeah. And I would hope they run, I mean, you got 15 plus computers sitting around. What do you got one of them running as a server at least? Oh, that thing seems to go away. Okay, so I'm gonna need to position this a little awkwardly. I'm just going to do a tangent surface in here and put it at an angle. I am in no position to talk. I have two or three full towers and then I don't know, a half dozen laptops and stuff laying around, so zero judgment coming from this direction. It sounds like yours actually have purposes more so than mine. That's oh yeah. Yeah, I've done that for like the main thing I always end up doing is like I want something for project management or handling projects and organization and stuff. I have on a couple of occasions just been like, I'm just gonna make something. It ends up not being very good, but yeah, the journey's fun. I'll offset this a little bit more. Alright, let's take a look. Actually, let me open that as a tab so I don't forget. Social networking engine. I see. Very cool. Did you enjoy it overall? Like, was it a fun project to dive into? Just a construction square to do my bolt pattern. Nice. Oh, so you're still working on it actively. I took your previous comment to mean that it was one of those that worked on but has been shelved. Plane is annoying me. Go away, plane. Okay, includes the symmetry. That didn't seem to go away. Try that again. Okay, cool. I probably won't dive into that one anytime too soon. I've still got a bunch of stuff I want to do on. I've got a site built in Joomla that I've continued to tinker with, and I've got a bunch of stuff for the back end. I'm like, oh, whenever I get the energy to write code that's not Python. Wow. That is impressive, actually. 60.5 by 40. Oh, look centered. Oh, because it's not. Okay. I think it was listening to my centered order. Why is it not snapping to this thing at all? Oh, I see. It did not draw my square on the plane that I want to be on. Is that what's going on? Something funky happening. I think it did it on that other plane that was in the way. My best guess. Hide this. Try that again. Ah, okay. I've never really, well, obviously, 'cause anything I've ever built performs terribly, but yeah, I've never dove into the like performance side of. I've done that for, running simulations and stuff. I've never done that on trying to present graphics. What kind of tricks are there in that? Is it just like having low scale thumbnails, or is it, what is the trick to that? Or you just toss out a whole bunch of words, I don't know. I see. Gotcha. Yeah. So you like sort of use that as a guidepost as you make changes and stuff to then see how to improve on it. Those are M3s, I think. So I'll make these M4s, or sorry, make these 4mm holes for pizzas. That's cool. What do you do day to day? Like, what's your day job? Seems like you've got all sorts of interests across. Because you're talking about doing electronic stuff. I guess, yeah, onion stuff would certainly fall in that category. And then photography and all that. All kinds of fun stuff. Are any of those also your work, or? Nice. That's awesome. into whatever doesn't sound right or feel right. I'm a big fan of that. Awesome, happy to help. Well, I don't know how I feel about driving someone to clean. I don't know if that feels right. Actually, I want this to be to objects. Oh, why would only do those two? Alright, that's fine. Move these two for now, and I'll come back to these two. Again, yeah, I can absolutely relate to that, man. Yeah, I actually struggling with whether or not I even wanted to get up and do this evening. So, likewise, I appreciate the motivation. It helps, having somebody to shoot the shit with while tinkering. It's nice. Alright, let's see if I can get these to do what I want. Apparently not. Take a slice out of that. I have faith in you, and where there's a, and I think the cliche as it is, the like where there's a will, there's a way thing. I think it's very real. If you're interested in stuff, and at least for me, I find that's sort of the main part. It's interesting and challenging in some way, then I usually find my way back to it at some point. What's the dimension of that board? But it can feel like a lot when it's all like one big lump sum thing in front. At least that's how it is for me. Or even if it's not something big, it feels like it's big, and then it's like, I don't know, it's so hard to motivate. Think about the whole list of things, and then just end up thinking about that list all day long. It's like, oh, now I'm tired. $1752.5. $1752.5. Yeah, time does fly, doesn't it? And talking about that humidity thing a little bit ago made me realize that was 14 years ago. And yeah, that was yeah. It's like, what? How did that happen? experiment. I feel like experiment is another word for work, right? Well, I guess, I don't know, the hard part is figuring out a way to just make those things, well, if paying the bills is a priority, then, at least for me, that's always the thing, is how do I make that thing I love doing also somehow fit that criteria of being a human adult. Kind of at least the dream, I think, for me with all this sort of thing. Like I really enjoy all this. It's really fun. It'd be cool if one day I'd also manage to keep the lights on. Something that's so beautiful about the internet, I think, right? Yeah, boss. If you want, I can. I'll put you to work. Oh, I see all the elements on the board already. Fusion, you tricked me. Hey, that looks okay. Not the prettiest thing, but I think that's alright. Gives access to everything. A little too close to that upper servo. Cayenne peppers. That is one I didn't realize. Like cayenne, I always have only ever seen it as, you know, the powdered red dried cayenne at the store until I started growing it a few years ago. Fresh cayenne is like one of my favorite things. So good. I don't know why they don't sell more fresh cayenne at the store. Like, I would probably choose cayennes over jalapeno most of the time. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah, that's actually a big part of what I got into a lot of the vertical farming stuff a long time ago. And peppers are one of my favorite things to grow there. I'm gonna change that plane offset a little bit. Really? Sweet peas. The way to go? I don't think I've ever grown any kind of peas, actually. My friends used to give me a hard time because I mainly grew salsa. This is basically what I grew. I had tomatoes of all kinds and all kinds of peppers. And that was pretty much it. Sort of stand by it. I think that's really all you need. Delicious. Really? Huh. Well, I'll have to give those a try next time I get the garden going. I didn't do anything this year. My favorite thing to like just pick and eat straight out of the garden, definitely tomatoes. Well, that and peppers. I do like the when you're out working in the heat, and whatnot. Just taking a bite of something real spicy sort of gives that jolt of energy. Although I've also made that mistake with the wrong pepper out in the garden without water and regretted it. Is it like, let's see, mince extract? It's giving me a Google Translate, or actually it brought up chairs, so I think I did something wrong. Did I spell it wrong? Alright, I'll leave the search up and I'll find it later. I'm intrigued. Oh, actually, I think I'm seeing. Is it flour? Okay, hold on. Is that right? This thing? Super cool looking. Huh. Oh, yeah, new to me. Interesting. Yeah, doesn't that? I never would have guessed by looking at it. Well, I don't know if that sounds pretty intense. And I like some good heat, but like when you get into some of the stuff that's just like, I don't know, like some of the hot sauces where it's just concentrate and whatnot, like some of those, they have no good flavor and the heat is just painful. Like Da Bomb, I feel like it's sort of like that. It's like a paste of heat. Okay, so we got the board, got that, got the switch. What are we missing down in the base area? I think that's. I think it's about time to move up to the laser, but we can save that for tomorrow. It's coming along. Oh. Huh. Yeah, I'll go down the rabbit hole a little bit and look into it a little more. That's interesting. I've never heard of it. It's also super cool looking. Is it hard to grow? And you said that you didn't come up this year or this time, but I'm guessing you've looked into them a bit. Hmm. Interesting. 5.5. Yeah, that is pretty acidic. Interesting. That's super cool. Oh no, of course I see Amazon has this. It exists. Alright, let's save this. I don't know though. I do like and I did get into outdoor gardening or whatever. I guess traditional gardening for several years, but I've done indoor gardening of various forms for a very long time, 15, 20 years. I enjoy it a lot. And you don't have to worry about bugs, not really. And then there's all the fun like improvised technology to go along with it. But yeah, there's also the issue of cats. I've had that one happen too. fact, actually, I had a cayenne plant. I built this big, fairly elaborate vertical farming test system, and it finally had started fruiting, and then I came in one morning and the whole thing was just destroyed. Smart. I have both the cat and dog sitting right next to me right now. Yeah. I should find a way to give them their own space. Nice, sounds like a sweet setup. Cat's got the life. I like it. Speaking of, yeah, I'm gonna slice the body off of this thing. Just gonna do it kind of crude. Very crude. See how this thing looks on top. I haven't sized it, so I have no idea if it's going to be like absurdly sized. I just downloaded it. Oh my god. Where does it exist? Where the hell? Oh, that didn't work. Or is it cut off by this? Oh my god. I think the cat head's too big. To shrink that. Where's the scale? There we go. Let's try 50%. Yeah, it's pretty funny though with it being gigantic. I actually think I kind of like it. I think that size is going to be just about right. I don't know, I'm trying to like get that positioned ever so slightly in the right spot. Yes. Yes. And then I'm thinking I'm gonna have the laser coming straight out of like its mouth. But I think that is going to have to wait for another day to be finished. I think I'm about ready to call it a night for today. like the direction it's going. Oh shit. Oh, right. That's not real. I was gonna say it's aiming the wrong way. This needs to be aimed at the little door. But just placed it randomly. Cool. Yeah, it's coming along. I think, actually, yeah, it was your suggestion for the cat head, so thank you. I think that is a very good idea. I'm excited for that, actually. Quite. After you said it, I was like, oh yeah, I can picture that being really fun. And I think I've figured out how I can have that on the tilt axis. So the head will go up and down with the laser, which makes me happy. Or to look up and down with the laser. Well, thanks for hanging out again. It was fun chatting. Should be around again later this week if you're going to be online. Trying to finish this guy up. I was also debating I might get on and just play video games one night, although I don't know if I'll go live for that. I've only done that once, and I don't know if that resonates with the folks that are directed to my channel, but yeah, I'll take a look at I'm gonna look around through some of the Onion stuff. Borderland. I haven't played that. I normally play Satisfactory. That's like my go-to, like just to chill out and relax game. Yeah, I've seen the Borderlands cover a bunch on Steam. It's where it's at, huh? I might have to consider that. Oh, well, hold on. Is that Xbox? Maybe I've seen it in the Xbox list. Alright, buddy. We'll take it easy. Oh, hold on. What is that? Yeah, I know how that is. Satisfactory does that to me. I will get locked in on that, or used to be Factorio. Those games, I'll just lose days and not know what happened. Alright, man. Later. Have a good night. I will hopefully see you later on this week. Take it easy.